Hi, everyone, and thanks to be here today. I'm Mattia. I'd probably like to present me as a basketball player, but unfortunately, I'm only the CEO of Ariel. We are an ad tech startup that we born 3 years ago, and our focus is to bring augmented reality and 3D content in the display heads. We are based in Milan. We raised around 4 million of euros the past year in our seed round, and now we are scaling our business basically around the world. But what I want to talk today is starting by a shared problem. And the shared problem that I bring on the table is about why people hate display heads. And to start, to have a better idea about why people really hate display heads, I tried to pick different numbers and metrics on the internet to explain better this problem. Let's start with this one. The 90% of users find targeted ads annoying. And probably this is related by different aspects. The first one is because the most part of the ads are not related to the environment where they are placed. So, for example, if I'm seeing, I don't know, an ads about a fashion brands or an accessories, and this ad is placed into a newspaper that speak about my next cooking recipes, probably doesn't make sense. And the second one is about that these have a strong consequence, is that more than 5 billion and half of the digital ad spend was wasted in 2022. And for wasted, we can consider the part of the budget that from brands and agency didn't bring ROI over the past years. In considering the 100% of the media planning of brands of different industry, the 31% is related to digital advertising. On digital advertising, taking consideration that the main matrix that today is tracked by brands and agencies to understand if the ads are working is the click-through rate. And the average click-through rate on display ads is around 0.46%, which is really bad in my opinion. And probably this doesn't make sense to make a lot of budget, a lot of investment, is these are the result expected. But when we started to work on this business model with Ariel, what we see is that the average click-through rate that we tracked on the ads delivered with Ariel was about 2.7%, which is around 25 times higher than the average. So, having said that, why people really hate display ads? And the reasons are different. The first one, as mentioned, is about that the most part of the ads are not related to the environment. The second one is that the most part of the ads are intrusive, pushy, and mandatory. Let's thinking about the most part of freemium apps present on the store today. They have a lot of nudge that needs the user to see the ads or to interact with them in order to go to the next step. And probably also this brings another important point of view, which is that the most part of the creatives are really ugly. Consider that the typical ads is a static image, a video, or in the best case, a GIF or a basic rich media ads. So, having said that, what I'm trying is to bring the other part of the story, which is the brand. And if we bring the brand at the center of the stage, what we are seeing is that the issues related with this approach are different. The first one is about the media wastage. So, as we see in the previous slide, 5 billion and half wasted in digital advertising over the past year. The second one is about low performance. So the average click-through rate, the average engagement rate is quite bad. In fact, one of the most important trends over this year and the next years is about the attention, memorability, and focus about delivering ads that make sense for also new target audience. And the third one is about poor brand experiences. So if my potential customers had a bad experience with my ads, this also can impact on the user experience that they potentially have with my brand. And the brand experience with my investments, okay, instead of bringing ROI, could bring a bad experience on my end customers. So for this reason, what we are trying to do is to solve these modern advertisers issues that can be split on two different segments. The first one is about attention engagement, that basically is related to improve the quality of data, improve the brand experience with the ads, and on the other side, data enrichment, that can basically use the camera and the new content to collect a new layer of data that can be used to have a better targeting or have a better understanding of what user really want. To make this, we developed two different solutions that solve these issues. The first one is about a new era in next generation advertising creatives that use augmented reality and 3D contents. And on the other side, what we call augmented analytics, which is basically a new layer of data on top of these creatives. On the first step, for next-gen AD creatives, we mean what we call immersive rich media. And this approach brings a new type of data, a new type of engagement on the advertising that can be measured on different KPIs. The first one is about the click-to rate. What we see is that the average click-to rate on these ads is around 2.5% to 3.5%, which is really higher than the average. The same things with engagement rate and the average dwell time spent, which is basically means how many time user spend on our ads. And the long story short is that investing the same budget could be, can bring a better impression and better result for the end customers. So what's really new about this approach? The first one is in-banner ads. So we spend a lot of efforts and a lot of research and development in order to understand how to bring in a native way augmented reality experiences directly into the banner, so without the need to click on that and to bring into a separated landing page, but having the entire experience into the banner. And here you can find a different type of rich media ads. The first one is what we call 3D AR product visualization, that basically allow users to see a product directly into the ads and to click on different product variants, and why not see also the product in AR. The second one is about, the second one is about CGI video animation, and we bring both video display with the use of the same 3D content in order to engage customers and to have a new type of video display. The third one is about virtual try-on. I don't know why video doesn't start. I don't know why, but basically here is the opportunity to try glasses directly into the heads. And of course, for try-on, we mean everything that can be wearable. So shoes, watches, hats, beauty, makeups, and so on. And the last one is about the 360 product walk around. So let's think about automotive industry or hospitality, where user can have the opportunity to live an environment, like in this case, the opportunity to see the interior parts of an automotive and then click on different hotspots in order to see more information and more detail about that specific vehicle. Other type of format is what we call gamification and rewards. And here you can find the different approaches. The first one is about AR camera filters and effects. So let's think about all of the brands that today invest to create assets and creatives for filters on TikTok, Snapchat, and Meta. The opportunity to extend the same creatives on open internet in order to have a better reach and to go out of the traditional walled garden, enable them to have more impression and to reuse the same assets on a new distribution channel. Or again, instant win. So in that case, we have different templates and creatives that can be used to boost instant win, drive to store, and everything that can give to the user a sort of coupon that can be used to make a conversion or a first-time purchase. Another one, mini games. Again, here is just one of the different mechanics, but in this case, the entire experience of the mini game is bringing directly into the heads, and the goal is always to bring the user on the website. And yeah, last but not least, AR quizzes and surveys. This is the traditional mechanics, but the most interesting part is that with this type of format, it is possible also to collect zero-party data. So which are the most interesting questions, which are the completion rate about this quiz, or how many users answered the first question instead of the second one, and so on. And the last type of format is a new kind of expandable heads, where in this case, thanks to the use of gyroscope and oscilloscope, it is possible to go out the border of the heads. And here is basically the opportunity to extend the space available into an advertising. In this case, what we see is a 360 treasure hunt where show different type of offers and promotion about yeah, a new product launch, or everything which is related with avatars that can, for example, bring users to interact with them and to answer on different questions about product and services. Or again, here we have what we call immersive 360 that could be a sort of landing pages and website that track different type of information directly into the display in order to open other media assets such as video, modal, text, and everything that could be a new way of interacting with product and services. Here you can also find another approach with the case studies that we delivered over the past month. And Mezzaluna is an Italian brand that started their journey with a Meta AR filter with a virtual try-on of their pair of glasses. And they make a sort of social extension with Arial in order to bring the same creative on display heads. So starting from this, which was the filter that they created on Spark AR, where it is possible to try glasses and then change the color and take a picture and share with friends. They created with their solution this type of heads that started with, not started because the presentation is not working, but start with the 3D assets of the glasses, and then it is possible to try the product directly into the banner. If you scan the QR code, you can try the experience. But the most interesting part of this approach is that they use, okay, now it works. They use this approach basically for 3 reasons. The first one is to extend the reach. The second one is about to track a more quality of data, because as you know, on Spark AR, you can track a lot of data about the use of the filter and how many people share with others. But it is very limited about how Meta offers in terms of information. And the third one is about augmented analytics, which I show you more something about the type of data that is possible to track with Arial. The other type of innovation that we bring with our solution is the approach of the creation. So what we develop is this platform, which is sort of CMS, like Canva, that's starting from blank or for different templates, it is possible to create different type of rich media that use, of course, 3D and augmented reality. And we offer our product in self-service or with our creative studio in order to support customers and agencies with an end-to-end approach. And third step, the analytics side, so emotional state and facial feature reports, product heat maps, and a new level of AD campaigns optimization. And in particular, this is the most interesting part. For example, for all type of how can I say, rich media, they use the front camera, such as face filters, quizzes and surveys, and virtual try-on. We are able to track this type of data in order to have a sort of user personas that give to the brands the opportunity to understand the targets that have a better tracking and that have a better data with that specific creatives. So age, gender, eye color, face shapes, and a different type of analytics that can track it on top of the traditional metrics from impression, engagement rate, and so on. On the other side, it maps end user behaviors, and in this case, for all type of rich media that are product-centered, such as a 3D viewer or AR experiences, it is possible to understand where users really interact with that formats with different type of analytics that give them the opportunity to understand where they spend more time, where they click, and where they make different interactions, such as move, scroll, and so on. To be more clear, this is a typical report on the facial features and gesture that can be tracked on Arial. So in age range, the gender, emotion tracker, and other type of data that can be used to have a better understanding on the target audience. Last step is about the distribution. So our approach is to consider this type of content media agnostic, which is mean that this type of content can be delivered both for reservation direct deal with direct publisher or direct agencies, or with a programmatic approach thanks to the integration with the most DSPs such as Google Display Video 360, Headform, the Trade Desk, and so on. This approach is really interesting for the agency side because it is very flexible and we allow them to use the same content on the entire media planning, not only for specific publisher or for specific formats. Last step is about the repurposing. So the idea is to make the content creation sustainable. And let's thinking about the virtual try-on campaign. If we spend money and if we spend effort to create that creatives for display ads, why not to use the same formats on your e-commerce or on your organic touchpoints? For this reason, our offer is completed with what we call Marketing Suite. And basically, the output in this case is not an edit tag, but it is a simple URL or a QR code that can be delivered on organic touchpoints thanks to different integration with solutions such as Shopify, PrestaShop, Magento, or MailChimp, Salesforce, on different goals and purpose. The first one is about e-commerce, and as you can see here, the opportunity is to take the same experience of the 3D viewer and put directly into your product page. And of course, in this case, it's a simple 3D viewer, but it's the same with virtual try-on, augmented reality experiences, and so on. And this is possible with a simple script that can be plugged into the product page. Another one is everything which is offline, where with the use of simple QR code, it is possible to use from offline to online and engage them with an AR experience. And last step, social network. So what we see is about the social extension in the previous case studies. But of course, the same content can be delivered directly into an Instagram stories or on Snapchat or whatever you want with a simple link. In this case, with a combination of a 3D video with a click-out link that open an AR experience where it is possible to make the click and collect directly into the AR experience. So thanks so much for your time. I think that now there is some space for a Q&A, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was an insightful use case of Arial. You have a questions. Okay.
Thank you for the speech. Can we get back on 2 or 3 slides before on the back, please? Yeah, here we go. Yes.
This one?
Correct. So here is the value that's 1 of 4 shoppers engaged with the feature. Could you explain, maybe I don't quite understand, how did it affect in plus 60% increase in revenue per visitor if only one of them, of four, actually engaged? Thanks.
Yeah. Basically, these two data are very different. The first one, so 1 in 4 shoppers engage with the features, is a sort of engagement rate. So 25% is the average engagement rate, and we track this information by collecting how many users, for example, interact with the 3D model or see the AR experience directly into the product ads. The first one, so increasing revenue per visitors, was a matrix that we tracked with different clients with a sort of A/B test. So starting from an ads where the click out and the final landing page was with the AR experience and the other one without the AR experience. What we saw is that the average cart was higher for the users that see the ads with the AR experience, and the AR experience and the 3D content on the final landing page instead of the others that they don't have.
So they increase their cart value just by having the feature without interacting with that? Right?
Yeah, of course they interact with the features. How can I say? We consider a direct correlation between the two, but in the first case, it is a more a performance approach where the data was collected directly with the media platform that ran the A/B test.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else?
So regarding the augmented analytics that you have, it's quite a lot of data that you're able to collect on users, the eye color, the shape of the face, all of that. How do you handle like user privacy and GDPR in a world where people want to be less tracked?
It's a good question. The first one is that all of this information are cumulated. So it's not rated with a single one impression, and it's not rated with each single user that interact with the ads. So the data are part of a quantitative approach. And on the other side, we have a GDPR model when user click on trying on these glasses, where they can pick, track with analytics, track without analytics. So we have 3 or 4 user interface options that can be picked by during the design phase which are GDPR compliance. Of course, this is an important aspect because, how can I say, the most part of brands asked us, okay, but this is GDPR compliance, and we try to find a good approach to have a good mix between good user experience and privacy law compliance without have a lot of checkbox to tap before opening the experience.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luca.
Anybody else? I think we have like one more questions. Time for one more questions. Yeah, we're good. Thank you so much, Mattia.
Thank you so much.